Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jose from Florida Vision Technology again. And today I have a special guest. But before I introduce him, do me a favor. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and share this content. As always, we greatly appreciate it. So, a lot of you might have heard of a new device on the market called the Hable One Smart Controller. It's a device that allows you to control your Android device, your iOS device that's running a screen reader without ever having to touch the screen. Hable is a company that's based out of the Netherlands. And today I have a member from their team, Freek. Freek, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great today. Happy to be here.
Awesome, man. I greatly appreciate you being here. So, Freek, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and about Hable?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I'm Freek, which is a Dutch name. You can pronounce it Drake with an F. It's probably the easiest way to do it. And I'm one of the two co-founders of Hable. Hable's a company that started around 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, we started with the development of the Hable One. It came from a personal motivation of my co-founder, whose grandfather was visually impaired and he could no longer use the phone. And we decided to say, hey, maybe we can develop something that makes it easier to work with your phone on both navigation and typing. And that's where it all started. And now we're, well, 4 years down the line, we've introduced it to multiple markets and now also in the US. And we're super excited to be here. And the feedback so far has been great. So I'm very excited to tell you more.
Yeah. I know me as a visually impaired person myself, I do use the product and I'm loving it. But before we get to the demonstration, can you go over maybe like the physical orientation of the device itself?
Yeah, of course. So actually, I have a Hable One right here in my hands. It's completely black with white buttons, and kind of you can imagine it as if you're holding a iPhone or a smartphone, but instead of holding it how you normally would, you would turn it by 90 degrees. So it's like in a horizontal or landscape mode. And then on one side of the product, you have 8 buttons. And these buttons are facing away from you. So your hands would kind of wrap around the device and would fall on these buttons. It's almost like Braille typing on the iPhone or on an Android phone, but then with physical buttons. So your hands wrap around the device, fall on the buttons, and that's where you can use it for typing or navigation. It also has a USB-C charging gate. That's for charging and also for doing software updates that come out regularly. And on top, there's an on and off switch. Switch it on and off, as you can imagine. And there's a small, on the bottom right, there's a small hole which you can attach a lanyard strap to. So the device, yeah, is around the same size as an iPhone SE. Fits right in your pocket. It's super small, but also handy and ergonomic to use. And it will last you around a month of battery life as well. So it's a little bit of an idea of what it looks like. We really went for a futuristic design. So black and white makes it look like a little modern. And it's because we want you to look cool when you're using this product.
Yeah, it's a super cool product. Now, you said that the buttons are located on the back of the device. Why is that?
Yeah, so it's actually for the ergonomic use of it. So normally what you would are used to is working on a flat surface. So when you're using a keyboard or when you're using a Braille device, you would have to use a surface to type or navigate. And for us, that's a little different. So because we put the buttons on the back, you're actually holding the device in the air. So right now, how I'm holding it, it's between my pinkies and my thumbs, and my remaining fingers actually fall on the buttons. And that way I can hold it even while I'm standing, when I'm outside. I don't need a surface anymore. So it also feels very ergonomically. So my fingers actually automatically fall on the button. So once you hold it, it kind of clicks, you get it, and it feels very natural to use.
It is very natural. I know when I first tried it out myself, I was like, what? The button's on the back of the device? And then when I held it in my hands, it's just like you said, it's very natural. Like your fingers, they just fall across the back of it. They're lined up perfectly. It kind of reminds me of like a traffic light or a braille cell with the way that the buttons are laid out on the back of the device. So when your fingers lay across the buttons, it's just super natural. Your
Yeah.
left index finger, your left ring finger, your left middle finger go across some buttons, and on the same thing with your right hand. It's really nice. It's very comfortable. I really like it, and like you said, it's very lightweight and portable, right? Because like you said, you could put it
Yeah.
in your pocket. So I really dig that about the device. So what are people mostly using this device for?
Yeah, so there's actually a few reasons, and so it's been on the market for around a year, so we have now quite some different kind of people using it and for different tasks. I think one thing that really stands out, what a lot of people use for, is the navigation. So actually navigating on your phone. So we use a kind of unique way of interacting with your phone. So you don't have to touch your phone at all anymore. We will just take over your VoiceOver or TalkBack with this little device. And so for a lot of people that actually have some troubles, or it costs a lot of energy to use those gestures on the phone. And we take that all away and turn it into physical buttons. So that's actually a way it's being used a lot by people, is just to walk over the phone, to use your email, to use your different apps, news app, etc. It's really easy to navigate and get to all the places inside that application. A second thing we see a lot is for people that have to move around a lot for their work, or they have to go out a lot for their work. Because it's designed the way it is, because you don't need some place to put it on, some flat surface to put it on, you can use it wherever you are. And that really helps. So when you're sitting in the train, or when you have to stand in the train, you can still write emails for work, or you can still be productive on your phone. So that's really a second use case you see. Whenever you're on the go, you can still control your entire phone while your phone stays safe in your bag or in your pocket. And then the last thing we really see is for students and younger people, because I think Jose, you can emphasize a little bit. It feels a little bit like you're gaming on your phone.
It
So it's
does.
also, yeah, right.
It reminds me of like holding a Nintendo controller with the way that you
Exactly.
the device. Yeah.
Yeah, so it actually is a lot of fun that way. It really feels like you're getting. I use it a lot on the when I'm on the train, and people come to me like, "What are you doing? Like, what game are you playing?" I was like, "I'm just using my phone. I'm just using sending an email." So I think that's pretty cool about it. And those are really the three use cases we see. So using it on the go, both typing and navigating, really focus on making that navigation easy, especially for people with a bit more trouble of using the screen and gestures. And then for young people, students, it is really just a lot of fun to use your phone this way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a young student anymore, but I gotta tell you guys, like for me, I mean, it's so convenient to be able to hold the Hable One controller in my hands, have my phone in my pocket, put an ear pod into my ear, and not have to like type on my phone or tap the phone, not have to swipe on the phone. I mean, I could do everything right from the controller itself, and it's cool because like I can text people, I can do everything that I would do touching the screen right through the controller itself. So I really like that, and I do travel a lot, so that's most of the time when I'm using it. Or if I'm creating alternate text for photos that I upload to my Instagram or my Facebook, rather than using dictation and having to go back and edit commas and punctuation and the formatting of the words, I can just type on the Hable One smart controller and put in what I wanted to say. So I really like it for that purpose.
Something that quite some people have also pointed out. It's actually the typing experience. So this, you can use Braille grade 1 and grade 2 on there, and also use dictation if you prefer to not use Braille. But when you're typing, I think a cool thing is also how we put in the text editing, because of course you're always using text editing when you're also typing. And that is something we try to make really easy and intuitive. So the way you navigate of your phone, so the way you move to the next item, is similar to how you would navigate through words or through letters.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's quite a cool feature, that whenever you're in text editing and you forgot how to use something, you're always able to actually figure it out, because it's a similar technique or similar interaction. And in that interaction, you can also always go one step back and kind of reset your last interaction by mirroring it. So that's, in the design, we really thought about, hey, how can we make it as easy to remember how to do all these different things and still make it fast as well?
So I don't like to always talk about how a product works. I like to demonstrate it. So Frank, can you show us how navigation works on this particular device?
Yes, of course. I'm happy to. So right here in my hands, I have the Hable One, and it's right now connected with my iPhone SE here on the side. It's connected via Bluetooth. I connected it once, and it will stay connected. And we'll start indeed with the navigation. So currently, I'm on the home screen of the phone, and I'll quickly go over the orientation of the device, and then I'll get into it. So my fingers are now in a natural position when I'm using the Hable, where they're on the middle 6 Braille dots. So that means my left pointing finger is on button 1, left middle finger on 2, and left ring finger on 3, and my right side is 4, 5, and 6. And if I move my left pointing finger to the left, I'll hit button 7, or the left navigation key. And on the right side, if I move my right pointing finger to the right, it's button 8 or the right navigation key. So I'm now on the home screen and I want to move one item forward or backwards. And what I do is I will hold down button 7, so the left navigation key, keep pressing it down and press my right navigation key once.
Calendar.
And you'll hear it goes to the next
31st
item.
of October. Camera.
And that is
Double
something
tap
I can
token.
keep repeating. So I can keep pressing the right button to go items forward. So
Mail. Clock. Maps.
now, if I want to move an item backwards, I just simply mirror the interaction. So I hold the right button and I move and I tap the left navigation key. So,
Clock. Mail. Camera. Calendar. FaceTime.
so there you go. That's very easy. So that's moving forwards and backwards. Now, if I want to open an app, let's say FaceTime right now, I just press both navigation keys at the same time. So now I'm
FaceTime.
in
Edit.
FaceTime. Yeah, it's cool, right? And that
Yeah.
that interaction is something we use all over the phone. So if you hold one button and press the other, that is actually the same in text editing. So if I am in a reading line and I hold 7 and I press 4, I'll go to a next character. But if I want to move back a character, I hold 4 and press 7. So that's something that comes back, for all the device.
That's super cool. So let me ask you this, because like right now you're in the FaceTime app, right?
Yeah.
And we're holding down 7 and tapping 8 to go from left to right, and we're holding down 8 and tapping 7 to go from right to left. And then you did the 7 and 8 at the same time to do a double tap. Now, with a lot of the new iPhones, a lot of my customers are always like, I want a home button on my device because I can't swipe from the bottom of my phone going up to do the home gesture. I mean, can we do that with the Hable One smart controller?
Yes, of course. So actually what you would do to go back to the home screen is you would simply hold the H in Braille. So the H is button 1 to 5. And now if I hold it down, I'll actually
FaceTime.
go back to home screen. So now I'm on the home screen on FaceTime. And you might have heard it. My Hable also gives a vibration. And that vibration is to indicate, hey, the shortcut just worked. And it's kind of an extra confirmation of you doing the shortcut. So now I'm back on the home screen after holding the H button.
That's so cool. So guys, there's no reason why you can't get a phone that doesn't have a home button, because with your Hable One controller, you can now do a home gesture with physical buttons. That's so
Exactly.
cool. So like, we were talking earlier about like how we're able to edit text. Can you show us how we could type maybe in a text document or sending a text message, or how do we type with this device?
Of course, I'll quickly navigate to my email app. Actually, I'll go to my email app, and I'm just using my 7 and 8 to navigate here. Now I'm going directly to my new message. So I do that actually by holding button 4, 5, and 6, which goes to the last item on the screen.
Very cool.
There's just a
Double tap and
new.
hold to bring up drafts.
There you go. It lets me draft a new message.
2. Text field is editing. Character mode. Insertion point at start.
All right. I'll just simply navigate to the message.
3. CC subject. Message content. Insertion point at start.
All right. So now I can start typing something. And what I'll do, I'll simply use 6-dot Braille for this. So I'll also type a simple message. So it says now, hi, how? I was going to type, how are you doing? It says it in Dutch, by the way, so sorry for the accent of my phone. Now, let's say I would want to move back because I made a mistake. What I'll do is I'll hold button 4 and I'll press 7, kind of the same interaction as I would do using moving backwards. So now I'm at H. Now, let's say I want the other way around. I again hold button 7 or left navigation key and just press 4. Now, if I want to do this with a word, I'll just hold button 5 and press 7. So that goes one word at a time. Now, if I want to select something, again, it's around the same button. So I'll hold 7 and I'll press 4 and 5. And it's selecting one character at a time.
Selected.
Cool. And again, guys, he's not touching his phone screen. He's doing all this Hable One controller.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, actually, whenever people start using Hable One, I tell them, don't remember these things. Don't remember these specific functions because you already have so many things to remember with all the different devices. All you need to remember to do anything with text editing on the Hable is that your button 7, so your left navigation key, and then the opposite Braille dots 4, 5, and 6 are your best friends. Because they'll, if you try anything, I hold button 7, I press any of the other dots, it will be a movement forward in selecting or going to the next character. And you can always go one back by just mirroring your last action. So you can always go back to the last point, and you can just try it out if you don't know what it is anymore. Same with like a rotor. If I want to use my rotor, I just hold button 7 and press 5 and 6.
Very cool. So a lot of people are probably wondering, like, who's this device good for? I mean, are there young people using it, older people using it? You know, I get a lot of technology, and sometimes people are intimidated by it. So with this device, who do you see buying this?
Yeah, actually, it's a really, really wide range of people that are using this. We have someone that's 5 years old and we have someone that's 92. I think it's really how far you want to go with it. So when I'm talking about the person that's 92, she's a little older, and she bought it because she was not able to use her phone at all.
Yeah.
And we said, okay, if you just learn, I think it was like 7 or 8 basic functions, you can already use the phone, because there's a single button to pick up a phone call or hang it up. So hold button 3 is your magic tap. So you can pick up the phone, hang up the phone, but also play music, pause music. Then there's the basic function of going to next and previous item. There's dictation function. And with those functions together, you can actually already use most of your phone. If you're a bit younger, or if you want to be much faster with the phone, perfect. We have a lot of functions that you can use to be super efficient with the phone. It's how far you want to go.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, 5
So,
years old. That's wild.
yeah.
So
Yes.
wild.
Yeah. I mean, we said, well, should you already want to use a phone at 5 years old? That's a different question. But
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
we were quite impressed.
yeah. That's pretty wild. So I know earlier you said this connects via Bluetooth, and a lot of devices on the market that are designed for people who are visually impaired, maybe they're using a braille display of some type. You know, when they want to connect a device to a smartphone like an iPhone, they have to go to settings, accessibility, VoiceOver. You know, they have to go through a lot of process just to set up this device. What's it like setting up a Hable One smart controller? Is it easy? Is it hard?
Yeah, a great question. So actually, how you would connect to Hable One is just through a normal Bluetooth connection. So like you would connect any other Bluetooth device. You just go to your settings, you go directly to Bluetooth, and you connect to Hable One. And also, once it's paired, you never have to do anything with it again. So it will stay connected, it will remember the connection. And what it actually allows us to do is also that we can use the newest Bluetooth protocol. So I think you say you've been using it for quite a while, you'll notice there's hardly any lag. I don't think you can even notice it if it's there, even with older phones, because we use the newest Bluetooth chip in there.
Yeah, I when I'm using, I don't notice any type of lag, and I'm using on right now on an iPhone 12 Pro Max, and it's pretty fast. I mean, I might as well be touching the screen. It's so fast, you know. It's you can't tell the difference. It's pretty spot on.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's really cool. And also the way that we connect with Bluetooth, you can still connect other Bluetooth devices as well. So you have no issues there. A lot of our users would actually use Bluetooth earphones and the Hable One, and then put your phone in your bag or in your pocket so it stays safe. And it's a really nice way of working with your phone in a safe way, but also super fast and fun way.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things I really like about it connecting via Bluetooth the way it does is that, like, you know, if I have a braille display and I update, like, let's say I update my iOS version on my iPhone, that can break my braille display. But because I'm connecting my Hable One to my smartphone by going to settings and then Bluetooth, if I update my phone, I don't have to worry about my Hable One smart controller not working, you know? I get that a lot, so many different times when working with different assistive technology devices. So I really like that about this particular device. Like, that's super convenient.
Yeah, and again, I think that's actually a really good thing you're pointing out there. It's also for us what it allows. We had made a very conscious decision to design it like this, because actually all the computations we do are made on the device, on the Hable One. So we completely control how it works, and we completely control the software that is on the Hable One, and that also gives us the ability to use some of these new ways of navigating on your phone, and some of these new ways of interacting with your phone that are actually super easy. And also for the future, we have a lot of cool things that can be coming up through software updates, because we can completely modify it as we want.
Very cool. So when you were typing in the email, like showing us how we can type messages and things like that, your device is speaking in Dutch, but like here in the States, like a lot of people here, they speak English, they speak Spanish, and you know, we have a lot of different languages over here. It's because it's a big melting pot. Does this support multiple languages?
Yeah. So it supports, I think right now up to 15 languages, out of which English, of course, is covered, and Spanish is also covered. French, Portuguese, whatever. I think almost all languages that are mainly spoken in the US would be covered. And actually, there's a pretty cool feature. So if you're multilingual and you would use different languages, you can actually switch quite quickly on the keyboard of the phone and on the keyboard of the Hable to switch the language. So right now you were hearing Dutch, and I can change it actually in a shortcut to changing it to English. So if you're using different languages as well, it's actually super compatible for it, and you switch all the time.
Very cool. Let's see, we have a question here in the chat. Someone's asking, does this just work with smart devices, or can you also use it with a computer?
Yeah, so right now the navigation part, so working with the screen reader, works on iPhones, iPads, Android phones, and Android tablets. For the computer, it just supports typing. So you would be able to type in Braille, but you wouldn't be able to control your screen reader with it.
Okay. Another question in the chat. Someone's asking, what is the battery life on this device?
Yeah, so the battery life is very long. If you use it every single day, it will still last you around a month. On paper, we
That's a
say,
long
yeah,
time.
it is really long. Actually, we got some requests a while back from people saying it doesn't work anymore, and we told them, "Hey, have you tried charging it?" And they said, "Is there like, do you need to charge it?" Question mark. And they were using it already for 2 or 3 months on like a daily basis.
Yeah.
So it's super optimized in terms of battery life, and yeah, you only charge it a few times a year.
You know, it's funny now that I think about it. I've been using the Hable One for several months now. I think I got my Hable One earlier this year, and I use it on a regular basis. And I don't think I've charged it a lot. You know, I spend a lot of time using the device. I don't spend that
Yeah,
much time charging it. Like, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
yeah.
How long does it take to charge the device? Do you know?
Yeah, around 2.5 hours. So
So it takes around 2.5 hours, and I get 50 hours of use out of it.
yes, a minimum. And that's really, if you like, that's like 50 hours of like intense typing that you would have to do.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
pretty cool.
That's amazing. That's huge. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and actually, why we do that is also, again, a little bit in line with how we like to think of the Hable One. It's really something that should be easy and intuitive, and you can kind of rely on it. So when you're outside, you don't need any other thing to put it on. When you're outside, wherever you are, you should always be able to use the product. And I think a really good battery life is part of that design idea.
I totally agree. So someone else is asking in the chat, you said that the device allows you to control dictation, but what about Siri?
Yes, so Siri, there's also single shortcuts. If you hold 145, it opens Siri for you. It's something I use all the time when I'm using it, because it's just really, really easy. And especially when I have Bluetooth earphones in, that's also my microphone. So I can just speak into those at the same time. It's super convenient. Yeah.
And then someone else is asking, there's a lot of questions today in the chat. Someone else is asking, how long does it take to learn how to use the Hable One?
Yeah, so this is always a difficult question because it will differ a little bit per person. If you're regular, like if you're using technology quite a lot, it will take you an hour to get to use like all the functions you need to use your phone, and it takes you, of course, a little bit longer to get fast with it. But I'd say if you compare to other products, it's you learn it really quickly. That's how it's designed. It's really designed so you don't have to remember a lot of things. You just have to remember the idea behind it. What I was saying earlier with navigation is the same as navigating in text. There's a lot of shortcuts that make sense. So if you're a Braille user, it goes really quickly. If I hold the H, I go to home. If I hold the B, I go back. If I hold the R, it goes read from here. So all these things are intuitive to use. I think if you're a person that is not yet familiar with Braille, it will take you a little longer. But even then, within a week, you should be able to at least use all the basics on your phone and control the entire phone with the Hable.
You don't need to know how to use Braille to use this device, right?
Yeah, it's actually a really large group of our users at the moment that does not have any Braille knowledge. Like they actually learned how to type Braille with the Hable One, but they did not have any knowledge beforehand, and they were already able to use the navigation side of the Hable, and then they actually slowly started learning Braille as well because it's just very convenient, just typing in Braille. But you don't need any prior knowledge.
Yeah, I have a lot of clients that are older, you know, so they're losing their sight later in life who don't know any type of Braille, and they're using the Hable One controllers. I got a lot of veterans who are using it, people who have dexterity issues with their fingers or have trouble double tapping, have trouble swiping. This device, to me, it's a device that's been needed for a long time, right? Like we haven't really seen anything like this, something that you can hold, use on the go. A lot of devices that people were using are either Bluetooth keyboards or Braille displays, which, when you think of the size of a small Bluetooth keyboard compared to this, I mean, you can't even compare it, a small Bluetooth keyboard. I've never seen one that could like fit in my pocket, So if I have to use my phone, me personally, I don't want to walk around with a keyboard.
Yeah, I agree.
So that I like the form factor of this device. It is very portable. It can fit in your pocket, in a purse, in a bag. It's very durable too. It's very durable. Me as a visually impaired person, I use it on a regular basis, so I can definitely vouch for this. And a lot of you guys who know me, who are listening to this or watching this on YouTube, you know that if I don't agree with the product, I don't try to promote it, right? A lot of you have always asked me like, hey, Jose, from a blind person to a blind person, what do you think about it? And I tell you my honest opinion. So with this device, I could tell you I'm 100%, 200% all in on this device. It's very useful. And I think it's, like I said, it's a device that needs to come a long time ago, and it's finally here. And I highly recommend getting it if you use an iOS or an Android device with a screen reader. Very cool. So what about pricing?
So on the pricing, you can get it with Florida Vision Tech, so with you guys, for $349 US. That's pricing at the moment.
Very cool. But we are going into the holiday season, and I believe there's going to be a holiday discount. What's that all about, Frank?
Yes, that is correct. Cool that you're bringing it up. So actually, for the holiday season, and this is because a lot of our users have told us, hey, this is like the perfect gift. Because of the price range. Yes, a lot of them are asking
a good stocking stuffer.
yes, right. And it's a gift, and people will ask like, what is this? And then you'll be using it, and everyone will be jealous. So it's a really cool gift. So we said, okay, let's do a bit of a holiday promotion. So for the holiday season, from the 21st of November till the 4th of December, you are able to get the product for $299. So there's a $50 discount for the holiday season. And I think that's super exciting. I think it's a really cool gift for Christmas.
I mean, for everything it does to me, that's a steal, right? Like, I mean, it is a great device. Like, I can't stress it enough. It is a super great device in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested in that product, I mean, go ahead, give me a call, or my office a call at 1-800-981-5119. And we would love to help you get that. Again, that promotion is good from November 21st until December the 4th. If you're hearing it from this video, just remind us that you heard it on YouTube, and we'll go ahead and we'll get you that discounted price for $299. And what's really cool, if you go to the Hable, I Am Hable website, they actually have, what do you call them? They're not classes or courses. What do you guys call those?
So it's there's like videos, and there are also text files and videos about kind of how to get started with the product, how to use certain apps with it. It really gets you going, gets you up to speed of how to use it really quickly.
Yeah, and so you can go to the iamhable.com website to get that information if you do decide to purchase a device. And of course, as usual, anything that leaves my office, we provide tech support for, right? So if you get a Hable One smart controller through Florida Vision Technology, we do all the tech support, customer service, all that good stuff. You have access to us 24 hours a day. We are open 5 days out of the week, which I guess that's not 24 hours. Yeah. But you have access to us a lot. So, anything that leaves our office, we do provide training on it. We help you get set up, and we do all the tech support. So just want to go ahead and just let you guys know that if you already did not. Very cool. Well, Frank, I greatly appreciate you joining us today. I think this was really fun, very educational, very entertaining. I think a lot of people are getting a lot of use out of this device. So again, we appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me once again, Jose. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. A lot of fun. Great session.
Likewise. So guys, if you're interested in this product, you can go to our website, floridareading.com, or you can send us an email, or jose@floridareading.com. That's JOSE@floridareading.com, or give us a phone call at 1-800-981-5119. If you also want to check out the I Am Hable website to check out the videos that they have about the product, I highly recommend that as well. Anyways, we're going to wrap up this video. My name's Jose, that's Frank, and we are signing out.